Oh God, when everything is spiraling out of control and only 10 people have turned up to your key speech, when you decide to accidentally post pictures, look at this, of your husband having an argument with the nanny on your wedding day, then what more is there to do than yet another disastrous advertising post making zero sense, but showing that you are, these days, pretty damn crazy. Yes, this was Meghan's flood the zone strategy. Shop the complete as ever pantry. Should we take a look? Yeah, let's watch the video. Oh God. Oh God, of course that isn't the pantry at her Taco Bell kitchen, which you're going to be talking about in just one moment. But it is Meghan looking ever so luscious, isn't it? Paula Frolic of Paula Frolic Uncensored with now. Paula, of course, this new video follows the last week relaunch of that creepily seductive and oddly sexual Was Never promo. And Paula, I just want to know, what is the strategy here? What is going on?
Honestly, Dan, nobody knows, and I don't think Meghan knows.
No, that's
either.
the problem.
She's literally trying to sell herself as the product, and frankly, it's not working. And I'm almost starting to feel kind of bad for her at this point. And I do stress the word almost.
Almost.
But you are correct. Sitting there, leaning back against a window and like touching herself. It was a scene I never needed to see. But there we go. And you are correct. That is also not her kitchen. It kind of resembles the kitchen that she filmed her show with Love Meghan in, which also had white backboards, whereas her kitchen looks nothing like this.
No, it's the Taco Bell kitchen. And I do want to get to that, Paula, in just one moment, because the kitchen itself is prompting quite a lot of debate about actually what it means in regards to where Meghan Markle is today. But the problem I feel is that we are just getting now catastrophic error after catastrophic error. I mean, the wedding day pictures, okay, you could argue, well, we're showing a different side. It's sort of a little bit Kardashian-like. I mean, I personally hated it, thought it was really vulgar. But what she didn't realize, Paula, is that she had posted a picture never seen before, which included a very awkward dialogue that Prince Harry was having. This was exposed by, according to Taz, who revealed this was an odd photo to post. Harry looks like he's in a heated exchange with Catherine and Prince William's nanny, Maria. The little children look wary of Harry, so that backs this theory up. I know Charlotte and George were removed from the procession after Harry and Meghan's vows. Given how Meghan looked at Charlotte and how she reportedly behaved towards her, I'm not surprised Catherine protected her babies. I'd take a guess this was before the official portraits and Meghan sent Harry to ask for George and Charlotte. It's definitely not a sweet or romantic photo, so makes you wonder the purpose of including it. Harry looks like he's been a jerk, and Meghan overseeing her handiwork. Now, we know, Paula, there was a huge amount of tension at that time between the two couples, William and Catherine, and Harry and Meghan, specifically over the use of the children, specifically Charlotte, really, on the wedding day, because she had been in tears and Meghan had treated her really appallingly. My question to you, though, is do you think this is just another mistake because Meghan isn't actually properly considering what she's doing? A bit like how she was pictured with that Finnish politician who has been accused of racism and sexism. Or, and call me a conspiracy theorist if you want, Paula, but is she wanting to make her husband look bad?
Honestly, Dan, I think the whole thing was a big mistake. What she should have done is just put one photo. But unfortunately, we know from Meghan, she really likes to ram the point home with everything. And more is better when actually less is better. You know, it's funny because she does have this minimalist idea about herself. But the amount of photos that she put just made her really look like kind of an insane narcissists. There were a lot of just her. And that one photo that you were just talking about is such a bad mistake. I think I get why you think it is what you think it is, but I think it was just her overlooking it because as you know, just as maniacal as she is or claims to be about details, I think she skipped it. I think she was like, this is me. I think she was only looking at herself.
No, I actually do think there is a strong argument for that because it's happening now across the board, isn't it? We see lots of errors being made, and it's because she just doesn't have the staff. She can't afford to pay for the staff. And these mistakes are now happening on a constant basis. I do think what was so interesting, though, about the whole wedding leak is that she's the only one now invading her own privacy, Paula. She is the only one. No other friends or family members had any desire to go back there on the wedding. And Queen Esther actually pointed something out quite beautifully, Paula. I want to show you this. She wrote, "The world respecting Meghan Markle and Harry's privacy. Except Meghan Markle and Harry themselves imagine going from a wedding packed with A-listers to 8 years later and yet not one visible celebrity friend, not one bestie, not one A-lister or family publicly wishing them a happy anniversary. No posts, no flowers, no tributes, just silence. That is one hell of a social decline. They've floated renewing vows in the media, and now I'm wondering if the issue isn't renewing them, it's finding enough people willing to attend. I guess alienating your family, former colleagues, old friends, and eventually most of your circle leaves you standing on a very small island. And to make it even more tragic, the only visible anniversary wishes seem to be from airline crew who had apparently been informed about the anniversary beforehand. You poor thing, Meghan Markle. Life really does humble people." And then what she's done, Paula, is put together this video, and I want us to look at this together. And there's a bit of tumbleweed going on here. Look at all of the people who they love celebrating, love talking about their big moments. But it was really striking, Paula, that on this anniversary, which clearly none of us thought was significant, but Harry and Meghan did, there was not one tribute from anyone else. And so they're the ones invading their own privacy. And it links, Paula, with what you have been reporting to Alison Boshoff in the Daily Mail in recent weeks about how virtually every A-lister at the wedding in some way, Paula, has turned or at least chosen to freeze themselves out.
Absolutely. I mean, at this point, I think in order to have friends, you have to be a friend, Dan. And you know, if you look at all of the interviews she's done, look at even the softball puddle one she did with Jamie Kern-Lima. It was really back to me and always back to me. And thank you for asking me how I'm doing. And, you know, we see this continually, but I think she is probably really exhausting and nothing quite works. In that video there, you'll notice there's only 4 candles for their 8th anniversary. So a lot of people are wondering, was this her 4th anniversary video? But even still, the fact that she's making such a big deal out of it and people are not retagging, reposting, saying thank you, or even look at her last As Ever launch, you know, the one where Serena Williams, her former friend, kind of dissed her. It's really about, hey, will you do this? Hey, do this. And they were all kind of nudged and semi-bullied into posting instead of just, oh my gosh, thank you. I'm so excited. Let me do this for you. Because as we all know, you can only get so many asks before people are just like, we're done. I'm not part of your marketing team.
Yeah, because the thing is, Paula, it's almost like she was begging people to post about this, to talk about this. And the silence was utterly damning in my view. And I thought it very much backed up what you had been reporting to Alison Boshoff.
Well, it's interesting because you would have thought that somebody who had been there on that day, Serena, Oprah, the Clooneys, Priyanka Chopra.
Yes, she's another one.
Even Elton John, who she actually put a picture of him up, the only celebrity that she put a picture of, because of course she wants to tie herself again to Diana. None of them said, "What a great day," or "Wow, what a magical wedding," or "I still think about it." No one said anything. And it is just getting quite sad. And again, you kind of are like, "Oh, girl, knock it off." Like, it's getting very cringy. I always call it the days of my Montecito Lives, my soap opera, because I love it. And this is why I follow it, because every week these two do something else that literally, if you and I wrote a TV series and put it in, they'd say, that's not believable, Paula and Dan. Come on.
Totally. Totally. And Paula, I know it's difficult to be shocked by how low Meghan will go, but I was still shocked by the merching of the wedding for a candle. Honestly, I was. Because, the difference with this, Paula, is that at least with the children, I guess you can say, well, it's up to them now what they do. I mean, this was a wedding paid for by us, the British taxpayer, and paid for by the British royal family. And merching the wedding, to me, I always knew that'd go there eventually. I'm shocked that I've done it so early.
I'm actually not. And I'll tell you why, Dan. Because if you are going to make a candle that smells like your children, first of all, hello, pedo bait. Second of all, they merched the Queen when she came out with Princess Lilibet candle. Then, of course, due to the backlash, she took it back. And now, of course, the press release says, the candle is in honor of our founder's daughter, Lilibet. Whereas we all have the original press release. So she merged the Queen, she merged her kids, and now she's merging her wedding. Of course she is. It's just natural, really, at this point. Okay,
Paula, we've got to talk about the kitchen. Okay, the Taco Bell kitchen, because it's your pal and my pal too, actually, Tom Sykes of the Royalist Substack, who has really been looking into Meghan's kitchen. And he has now written quite a fascinating essay on it, actually, and sort of using the kitchen as a symbol of the failure of Project Sussex. So I'm fascinated by your view on this, but let me just take you through some of what Tom has explained, because he says a lot of the new content was shot in the kitchen, that kitchen. Orange brown wood cabinets, copper pots hanging from the ceiling, an interior that looks like it was last touched in 2003, and specifically like it was designed by someone who thought the Olive Garden was aspirational. In Montecito, where billionaires routinely knock houses down the moment they buy them and start again from the footprint, where the baseline expectation is that if any aspect of the house doesn't perfectly suit you, you remodel it, that kitchen is a potent symbol of where things now stand for this couple. A source who lived in the area recently told me that the Sussex house is a laughingstock in Montecito social circles. In a town where conspicuous renovation is a hobby for rich wives, the fact that they haven't remodeled even the kitchen of a house that I suspect was last decorated when bought in 2009 by the former owner, the Russian fraudster Sergei Grishnin, who died in suspicious circumstances in 2023, is a significant tell. The virtual tour of their embarrassing kitchen is a visual explainer to what a catastrophic mess Project Sussex has become. At the end of last year, they fired the bulk of their staff, shuttered their charity, and pared down their production company to a staff of 2. Hollywood people tell me it is now what is dismissively referred to in the town as a label. It means the company primarily exists to attach its branding to other projects. And he says, time for a rebrand. In an ill-advised attempt to make money, the Sussexes went to Australia, where Meghan literally sold selfies of herself for money. It was a disaster. The polling was brutal. The line from Team Sussex was that you had to be there. It was different in the room. Website traffic in Australia says otherwise. Traffic actually went down while they were there, according to Jack Royston's analysis of similar web data. Time for a rebrand. So off Meghan goes to Geneva to play serious Meghan at the World Health Organization with a speech about children and social media and a photo op with Dr. Tedros. So Australia failed, Geneva failed, time for a rebrand. 2 days after positioning herself as a serious geopolitical thinker on the world stage, we're back to I'm an influencer, I like cake and penguins and love stories. What Meghan would obviously love to be showcasing right now is a spectacular new renovation, clean lines, bespoke cabinetry, the kind of kitchen that makes people stop scrolling, the kind of kitchen indeed that she chose for With Love Meghan, which at least looked like someone had made a decision about how it should look. Instead, we're getting the original fittings, the copper pots, the whole dreary inheritance, whoever owned the house before them. The wider point is that the whole Meghan and Harry brand is in a state of total chaos. A scattergun, no one is steering this chaos. One day it's serious Meghan with Dr. Tedros at The Who. 2 days later, it's anniversary content set to Paula Abdul and a penguin ornament. So Paula, is there something metaphorical about this kitchen? Is Tom Sykes right that the kitchen is almost a symbol for what is going wrong?
And actually, the better thing to juxtapose it against is look at the kitchen from Frogmore House. After they did a £2 million renovation, and Meghan got to design everything just the way she wanted. If you look at photos of that kitchen, it's very light, it's very bright, it's very modern. It's a place you want to hang out in. Now, they left that and they went straight to Montecito to a mansion that the oligarch was selling for basically kind of half off. They were like, what a steal. We'll get in there. And they thought, well, this is our new home. And just like Frogmore, we will renovate it. But unlike Frogmore, they didn't have taxpayer money to do so. So they thought, well, when we are huge, rich, successful entrepreneurs, whatnot, we will do it. Give us a year. Well, it's been 8 years. It's been 6 years since they moved here. And it's really just kind of analogous to what their situation is. They kind of came in, they bought over their price range, and they're just sinking underneath. They can't get back to where they were.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's really telling too that when you come back to that video that we opened the show with, I mean, if she were proud of her kitchen, well, why would she not have filmed that new promo there?
100%. And I actually believe I do not know for a fact, but I believe that promo was probably done during the filming of As Ever. Look how it's shot. It's shot, the background is very similar to what the rented farmhouse that she shot in. And, she is known for reusing things from that original shoot. So why not? And of course, she wanted to film somewhere other than her other kitchen. You'll remember at the time, she had said, well, it's about our privacy. We can't have that many people in our home. But I don't think it was about that at all. I think it was about the fact that their home is not film worthy.
No, I mean, I'd be very happy there. I would be very happy there. I have to admit, Paula.
I would not lie. I would not take it down either. However,
and I love Olive Garden, okay? I love Olive Garden. Does that make me some type of peasant?
No,
in Montecito.
No, it makes you a man who loves sodium. And frankly, we all love sodium. That's why we all have such heart and high blood pressure problems, Dan. The issue is, I don't know if you want to live in that garden. And it is pretty dark and dank. And yeah, right now you want to invite people in. And for a woman who is all about, I entertain, all I want to do is entertain. I just love quiet luxury. Everything's quiet and soft and slow and easy entertaining. Well, she doesn't seem to be doing that much entertaining, because if she was, Montecito is a very small town and people would be talking about it. I think her entertaining is possibly having one person or two people over who, like her hairdresser who might have driven up from LA, having him over, but she's certainly not having dinner parties.
No, can we do a palate cleanse now, Paula? And
okay.
The centerpiece of the discussion is a candid image from Harry and Meghan's wedding day that had not been widely seen before. Some online commentators have speculated that the photograph captures Prince Harry in a tense exchange with Prince William and Princess Catherine's longtime nanny. However, a single still image cannot reliably establish what was taking place, and there is no confirmed evidence that an argument occurred. The photograph nevertheless became a major talking point, demonstrating how even ordinary candid moments can take on outsized significance when they involve members of the royal family. The anniversary posts themselves also drew strong reactions. Supporters viewed them as a heartfelt look back at an important milestone, while critics argued that the large number of images and accompanying promotional content felt overly curated. This divide reflects a broader pattern that has followed Harry and Meghan for years. Nearly every public gesture is interpreted through sharply different lenses depending on the viewer's perspective. Another topic raised by commentators was the relative absence of public anniversary tributes from high-profile friends. Some have interpreted this silence as evidence of changing relationships within the couple's social circle. Others caution that public social media posts are an unreliable measure of private friendships, and many people choose to celebrate significant occasions away from the spotlight. Without direct statements from those involved, it is impossible to know the reasons behind the lack of public messages. The discussion also highlights an ongoing tension in Harry and Meghan's public life, balancing privacy with a highly visible media presence. Critics argue that sharing personal photographs invites scrutiny, while supporters contend that the couple has every right to tell their own story and commemorate important moments as they see fit. The debate illustrates the challenge faced by public figures who seek both personal boundaries and meaningful engagement with their audiences. Ultimately, the latest controversy says as much about public fascination with the Sussexes as it does about the anniversary posts themselves. A single photograph, a handful of social media updates, and the reactions they inspire have once again become the focus of a much larger conversation about celebrity, privacy, and the modern royal family. As always, it is worth distinguishing between verified facts, speculation, and personal opinion when following stories like these. Thanks for watching. Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more royal news and analysis.